For 72 hours, sheer terror would grip the town of Gainesville as a serial killer who would come to be known as the Gainesville Ripper killed 5 college students in a span of 3 days. And believe it or not, this man actually became the real-life Ghostface. But let me tell you, this guy was way more violent than Ghostface ever was, even in ScreamGeeks. This guy had like Terrifier levels of brutality. So let's discuss the dark, twisted, and disgusting story of the real-life Ghostface. Before I actually get to the murder spree, I want to discuss his past. His mother found out she was pregnant 2 weeks after getting married to her husband, but her husband didn't want a child, so he beat his wife, and when his son was born on his first birthday, he would beat his son. He tried to get into the Air Force, but after a while, he was sent back. He literally wanted to join the military to get away from his family. Until one day he just snapped, and he shot his father right in the face. Miraculously, his father survived, but he lost the use of one of his eyes and one of his ears. Then, the Gainesville Ripper went and hid in the woods. He would sing songs and talk to himself, and there are actually voice recordings of him doing this. Mystery writer, what's your name? You're the killer, convicted, gone insane. And this is when he becomes a full-on monster. Now, just a year before this massacre, he had killed a family. It was a triple homicide, but this was even more brutal. It all started in this duplex right here. He broke into the house and he killed 2 girls living there. He stabbed them around 20 times. He also violated them. And when he was done with the crime scene, he would clean up, and the police had no idea who did it because he left no evidence. He wore gloves the whole time.
Takes her body, drags it out in the hall, cleans it off, and poses it. Now I say cleans it off. We're going to provide you evidence both at scene 1 and at scene 3.
He went on to kill 3 more college students. One of the murders he did was particularly brutal. He would stab the girl multiple times as he did with the others, but then when he later came back to look for his wallet because he believed he forgot at the crime scene, he decapitated her and posed her head on a bookshelf looking down on her body. He posed all of the bodies in inappropriate and explicit positions. But don't worry, because he got arrested almost immediately after that. Not for the murders, but for a robbery in Florida. Eventually the police received a tip from one of his old friends that it might be him, and then they did some testing and it turned out it was a match. The Gainesville Ripper was then sentenced to death via lethal injection. Now his reign of terror is over, but his legacy remains in that town. There is a beautiful mural to honor the victims of the Gainesville Ripper, and it is absolutely beautiful. I just found a few pictures right here. But you might be wondering, how is this guy the real-life Ghostface? Well, after Kevin Williamson watched a documentary about the murders, he wrote Scream. He was inspired by him, by his brutality, the way he was calculating so he wouldn't get caught. This man is responsible for the birth of Ghostface.